Hi there. I don't know about my ability to read this one. It has a really interesting title, and we'll see. Okay, this is from February 3rd, the second one of that day. The Mayan day was 7 Flint. Okay, here I am, high on light again, coming into the journal. What is journaling? Who and what am I, and what does it mean? Is there anything at all that can be salvaged from the bulk of what was known, what I thought I knew with all my studying and those amgodiments and so on, that has any ultimate worth? At this point, I suspect not. And that's really something to tangle with. It goes beyond mind-pretzling even. Indeed. So, where from here? Heck, the sentence doesn't even make any sense. Not any real sense, anyway. I'm about ready now to throw over all mind sense. It can exist all it likes in the reality of this 3D plane, but so what? I find out more and more that I'm not that. More accurately, I'm not just that, even though that's what we've all taken ourselves to be for such a long time. Oh well, time moves on, I guess. Ah, that's a funny one. Time moves on. Time moves out, more likely. At the rate it is going, it will accelerate into infinity shortly, never to be the reality for us here. Now wait, what is us here? Indeed, does that have any sense, any value in it? Very little, I suspect. First, there's no us, just an I, just a one cosmic self. All is that. As for here, that's just a part of the whole time-space thing, which we've gotten quite wrong for such a long time. Oh well, it was an interesting investigation anyway. We had fun with it, loads of fun, until we forgot that was the largest part of our purpose or mission in messing around in these lower dimensions, the joy, the fun of the adventure, and the expansion of being that would naturally occur. Okay, so we were misled by a heavy-handed group not loyal to light. Heck, not loyal to anything, not even themselves. Loyal to greed and self-aggrandizement, perhaps. Pretty steady in that. That has been a major challenge that I don't yet see the gain coming out of, though I know it is there. It will be fun to consult on the other side, once absent the vibrational drag of the dense bodies we wear now, to consult with other light beings and light councils where we too play a part, even now beyond conscious awareness. But not to get too far off track here, I'll pull it back in. So, light encountered dark, and for such a very long time, so to speak, it seemed clear that the dark won. What was all that about? And how can light ever win when encountering real dark, which has no rules, no honor, no standards of any kind, willing to do anything? Light is self-limiting along lines of integrity, honor, and truth. How handle one who sets himself up against you, chooses to be an enemy, and follows no rules? I have my eye on that prize, to be sure. The net gain in understanding that will have come from, somehow or through, all we've endured. We go forward greatly enriched, I trust, though our fruits are not yet known to me. Meanwhile, All along, we knew the dark could not ultimately win. There remains no such thing as a dark switch on the wall, and dark is not opposite to anything since it doesn't exist. Dark is but the absence of light. Light ever banishes dark. Just turn a light switch on and see. So dark had to lose. It was just a matter of when and how. And that's being seen to right now. We are awakening now to the divinity that is rightly ours. We are that, have been all along. But the weapon you don't know you possess doesn't do much good in the fight. I stop again, for the whole concept of a battle or fight isn't going forward with us. That's for 3D and duality. And we're moving beyond. We'll still contain that. We just won't be all focused here. Instead, it's been an adventure, more like the most intense chess game imaginable, with so much to lose. At least that's how it seemed and felt. As it turns out, we were just playing with chips all along, nothing in and of themselves, but the false value we assigned and then agreed upon. Finally, oh, finally, consciousness is risen high enough overall that we can take some steps back, can back away from all the toys and trinkets that 3D life here seems to be based upon. And boy, it's been rough, quite a rough ride. I don't think there's been anything quite like it before. Oh, sure, manifestation is cyclical, and cycles repeat over vast ranges of time-space, and that's still true. There can be novelty introduced, however, that's brand spanking new, and that's what taking our bodies with us, our planet, our sun, our solar system too, is for us now. Something new. The physical ascension was rare in the past, reserved for the avatar, the Christ. Now, here's the rub for many folks yet. They're not ready to see themselves as that Christ. They've still got the sleepers of religion and programming in their eyes. Be that as it may, the fact is we're a whole crew of avatars. Come into this time space, come unto earth to get this done. We're gods and goddesses, each one. Whether known of the past or not, that's our status. We are the amgodiment. We are that, capital T. It may take some time. It may not, for it may come all in a flash. For people to wake up to this and quit wasting time being people. We were never that. That was just part of the grand drama, the play. Divine we are and always have been. So here we sit. What to do? Well, nothing. But of course, doing is no answer to anything anymore, if it ever was. All that doing was just part and parcel of the play, the one we're walking away from, lickety-split, as in fast. No, it's more being we're after here. No more becoming either. It's down to being now. So, what to be? Well, when you put it like that, it seems so very obvious, does it not? You be yourself. You be the divine one that you already are. I'd say that's pretty clear and apparent. Now, how to help my brothers and sisters see what I see? There's the trick. Mayhap it's a magician I'll have to be for this one. Never been here before, so I don't know. Now, this whole not knowing thing is pretty overall grand. I speak highly of it. It's a whole lot of fun, too. Let's not forget to have fun in the midst of all of this. Enough with all the long-faced seriousness we've put on. It doesn't become us at all, not one bit. Laugh, why don't you? Everyone, for no good reason at all. Heck, laugh just for the idea of needing a reason to laugh. That works for me. I call for laughter strikes. Hear, hear, everyone, listen up. From now on, when things get too darn serious around you, don't try to fix shit. I call on us to break down in deep, roaring laughter. Break the spell. The tear-falling kind. Whenever anyone or anything, including the self, gets too darn serious, it's time to strike out and erase such nonsense with rolling on the floor laughter. And if you want to see some of it, go watch a bunch of Papa G videos. Let's go on a fun strike. If it's not fun anymore, we won't do it. We'll either find a way to put the fun back into whatever it is, or just walk away from it and find something else. Be in heart with this, though. No stupid decisions made from the head. Now, I know that's radical, but do consider a lot of us find ourselves rather misplaced at the end of this age. Things degenerated so far in the overreaching darkness that in doing the best we can, we were mismatched. We find ourselves in the midst of people, organizations, and relationships that simply don't work. We're deep in some ruts. At some point, perhaps soon, there may come an overturning of pretty much everything, and that will take care of all of this. Meanwhile, though, I don't know about you, but I'm not choosing to live with things as they are, just on the off chance or the hope that something will come and change it all. No thanks. I'm changing things now. All of this said, I don't advocate radicalism. Wisdom is still a beautiful chick, and she's looking a bit askance at me just now, so let me dig out and clarify. Everything in balance. Overall, I see three main components of that balance, being love, wisdom, and power. These three must agree and be well matched, for going without any one of them, well, it just doesn't work. Now, we can't even consider such things until we get out of the head, until we can finally, well and truly know we are not the form, not the body or the mind we've been using here. We're in no position to make any move at all. That must come first. Until you know who you are, how can you act? Who and what is acting to satisfy who and what? We've got to come clear on this identity thing before going ahead. Otherwise, it's quite clear to me all we'll do is make a worse muck of things than they already are. Now, just imagine that if you can. It strains the imagination, I know, but we could do it if we went off half-cocked. If you don't know yourself as true divinity, nothing less, then you're not ready at all. Your embodiment simply must be an amgodiment, or you're not prepared to step up into light, into higher dimensions. You have to see yourself there. Okay, I've been talking to the masses of us, the light beings, so far. Right now, I'm hearing some really deep pain and fear from some that I'll take time to answer. If you're in touch with heart and you feel from there that it's not your journey to move on from 3D yet, I'm talking to you. What with all the light beings all around making such wild and beautiful plans, and you feeling like you're supposed to go forward in 3D, where does that leave you? First of all, stop with any and all self-condemnation or criticism, all judgment of any kind. There's no place for that here. Where you go is not important. All that's important is that you follow your heart, which knows exactly what is right for you. Now, I've got to tell you, I'd follow truth into hell if that's where she led. That's where she called me. No, I wouldn't necessarily be rip-roaring to go there. But if we've learned anything by this very long cycle of being in 3D, it's got to be to stick close to heart and central or true identity, the divine kind. We can't second guess source. It's just not possible. Divinity has its reasons for things going the way that they do. We've got to hold our integrity and honor in highest esteem now and be loyal to that. We've got to be willing to give up everything if we're called on to do that and not even miss it. Now, more than at any other time, our priorities must be straight. So, what to do if you're one whose heart, whose joy calls him or her to remain in 3D? Well, you stay with it, of course, and you stay out of fear. That's the big thing. You've got a mission there, and many of our brethren are going with you. Let me say it right out. If you're one who is following these journals, and yet you have this stick with 3D feeling, then chances are good, it appears to me, you're going in as an avatar. Try that on. Please consider, is Source not the very best of lovers that ever was? What does Source do when some of her very best beloved are not quite ready to rise with the rest? You know she doesn't abandon them. That's a duh. So what does he do? I know the terminology's old and maybe overworn, but I say she sends the shepherds along with the sheep. She sends in the guardians, the divine ones themselves, those who volunteer, right along with the flock. So I'm asking you to at least try that on in heart. It must be terribly maddening for you to be hearing all of this ascension stuff, yet to be feeling the way that you are. You're doing good to be even able to face and admit that that's how you feel, instead of burying it to go along with the ascension crowd. All of us, no matter who, no matter what our circumstances or where heart is calling us, need do only one thing, and that is to be true to the capital S self and to the moment we're in, That's all, nothing more. Seriously, nothing else. It's only when we get to looking out ahead at these large swaths of time or behind that things can get depressing, can overwhelm, or seem to. It's not really that way. It just seems to. And this is important. It just seems so to mind. Now, more than ever, folks, let's be taking steps above and beyond the 3D mind. I don't care who you are or what you're calling. You can walk among them, so to speak, and just keep it to yourself that you don't function that way anymore. You're a being of heart, not of mind. And that changes all. It's only mind, you see, who will have difficulty with anything you're called on to undertake. It's only mind that gets frightened. It's only mind that judges as well. Each and every problem you now have or ever had can be traced back in some way straight to mind. There's no problem in heart. Just adventures and things not yet fully clarified. Those are not problems, my friend. Those are joys. Time, the way we've been used to seeing time, that's the enemy of peace. When we find ourselves caught either back in the past or too far off into the future, know that that is mind and just quit. Come back to center. Come back into now and camp out there. Refuse to leave. Get really stubborn if you have to, but stick to now here. And your joy will return. It's there. It's always there. Joy is a component of heart, and everyone has a heart. Joy is always available, always, right there. It's just a matter of developing the knack for being, well, I guess it was supposed to be here and now centered, but I wrote heart and now centered. Between these two, you won't lose your joy, no matter what comes. World War III itself could erupt, and you'd be just fine with it. Let go of mind. Mind has all those objections. My friends, we can walk in 3D and still be largely functioning in higher dimensions. We are not limited. The ones of us that go forward and continue in 3D, well, I don't see them spending any terribly long time there. Some go as divine guardians. I won't say saviors, since that's not the highest understanding we can have of this. Even during the balance of our lifetime here, we can be in 3D, but not of it, as the scriptures teach. In the end, it doesn't matter what realm is our destiny short term. We're all divine. We're all equal. We're all light. We've just got different missions, different things to accomplish, but we'll be ultimately rejoining together, all of us, not so far up ahead. So let's go forward with good gusto, buried so deep in heart that we're drunk on light often enough. None of this really matters at all. We take it too darn seriously. We forget it's just a game, ultimately, that we as gods play. So, all of us, let's be about backing off from being so identified with any and all of this. We've been led to give it way too much importance and emphasis for such a long time. Let's come back into balance at last and give it all over to higher self. Right choices will be made. No one is better than anyone else in any way. Any of that we see is just illusion, is based in mind. and it's easy enough to let it go. We've got the very best shot we have ever had. It may be to get rock solid grounded once more again in being light. That's what we are, much more so than anything physical. We can walk this realm yet maintain our true identity, never more to so fully lose it again. I don't know what I think of this journal. It's a bit of a scary thing to write, to see into people's future this way, some to go this way and some that. You know, we don't really want to part now that we are once again on the brink of fully remembering who and what we truly are. Would that I was a seer and could give a better, clearer picture of what's to be. I'd love to be able to say more, but I'm not going to embroider on anything, but just let it stand. All of us are grand, truly wonderful beings. And all is well. Remember that. All is ever and always well. Light was winning from the beginning. It was never in doubt. You are that. All are one. To our unending, unbreachable oneness, my friends, let us lift a glass of noble mead or other heavenly beverage. Friends, heart friends, till the end, which of course never comes. So let us rejoice in the end of this Kali Yuga, this very dark age. No matter what, whatever is ahead is lighter and better than it's been. And I'll drink to that.